Well, the downside of that is he's going to have to work a little longer, but, you know, Alan's moving on to greener pasture, I hope. We're hoping that he's going to be successful. His drive and enthusiasm, definitely he's not short of that, right? All of that stuff, and, you know, the MSO, Edison actually benefited from that, you know it or not. Very instrumental in getting Smart Connect to take off and actually finishing it up, right? So definitely gonna miss him. I've seen him sit on the big table, medium table, and definitely know how to push back, right? He's a stand-up guy, and that's a quality that some of us miss, right? When you know you got something right, you know, you stand up for it. You don't bend or what do you call it, get pushed back, right? So I'm gonna miss you. That 2 years I've worked here, you helped me. You actually helped me grow, not in height, but I mean, you know, I think that's too late. But you know, definitely gonna miss you. And Greg, have something else to add here, or anybody? All right, but we're definitely gonna give Alan an opportunity to speak as well. Oh, by the way, man, just in case, I actually kept a TSP2 or a meter tech open, just in case. Just in case. I don't think we need it, but
keep it. That's your mark.
Oh, you want to come back?
Well, I guess we're here to wish Alan, you know, a good kickoff to the new adventure that he's going to take on. But starting back, I guess, like 6 years ago, I think it's 6 years, right?
Yeah.
6 years ago, me and Dave was kind of like just going over stuff, and he says, well, we need to have like replacement for people, especially me. So I said, well, you know what, we could start looking for people outside the group or within the group and see, you know, who will be more suited for that actual position, taking on the technical and have the drive or the passion to like pursue some of these things. And I remember having a meeting at, what was it at?
You got dinner?
Yeah.
Out in LA.
It's a famous restaurant, I can't remember.
Capitol?
There was a Capitol.
McCormick. Yeah,
Right, I was having dinner at McCormick, and I met Alan there, and just kind of sized him up, and we had a good conversation. But I saw that he had the passion in terms of what he was doing. So I came back and told Dave, I said, well, you know what, this is something that if we open up a position, I think it'll be a good candidate to fill in. So I said, well, we're going to try it and see. Well, we opened up the position. Alan interviewed with, I think, like 5 or 6 different candidates. And Alan was by far the best candidate that we got from out of that pool. So we took him on board, and we just watched him grow. He started off not knowing anything about metering, and he just kind of like dive in, and he realized that there was a special piece to metering, especially with this new AMI technology coming on board, is that we were missing that functionality piece. And he really got in there, got involved, started taking on the gaps that we had problem filling. And even with Itron, we realized that Itron had gaps, that they didn't even understand what they were telling us. And so many times I said there was a lot of challenge. There's a lot of conflict at first, but then when we realized that, you know, we knew what we were talking about, Alan really stood out above the rest. So Itron would come to us and ask for what is our opinion or how would we resolve this issue. And it really showed that, you know, he really took on that role at growing that piece and understanding and continue to expand his knowledge. And I remember when he decided to go back to school for his MBA, he's like, man, I'm getting bored. I said, well, dude, you know what? School is always an option because I'm getting bored here. I goes, well, because it was like just 3 years into it and he's really grasping the concepts and the process and everything. And I goes, dude, this is the next step that you would actually use to move on to if you want to do something bigger and better. And I used to always tell him about one of my interns that back, I guess, like 20 years ago, he quit Edison and went to work for a startup company. And I told him, I says, this guy really made it big. You know, I says, and this is a good opportunity. So we keep talking about it, but not realizing that all this stuff is coming into play with this rate challenge. And when we started doing the resume, we realized, you know what, there's lots of option out there. I goes, you know what, there's a challenge. I goes, and he keep pushing me, you gotta do it, you gotta do it. I goes, no, I can't do it, you could do it. And he went ahead and pursued some opportunity out there. And pretty much all of them start coming back with all the big hits. I goes, dude, I said, this is what, you know, the opportunity was out there. But in terms of getting down to the finer points, in terms of, do I leave a secure job? I goes, that's a bigger decision he'll have to, you know, take on with his family, his friends, or, you know, all his different relationship. And he took it on in strides and, I mean, came to a resolution in each one of those steps. There's times when we went back and forth, but we researched the stuff and things came up pretty much like what we thought it was going to be. So, I mean, this was a great opportunity. And he made the decision to leave the company and move on to this bigger fish. So, you know, I think it's a great opportunity for him. And why do you come up and kind of like give us
Okay, so what you're saying is then your replacement is leaving.
Yep, my replacement is gone.
Now he's irreplaceable,
No. We got a lot of other people here that is going to try to mold out of people to see, you know, where there's the gap. And I think each one of them has, or each one of us has a unique skill in different areas. So we're just going to have to start molding and trying to see, all right, because it's a comprehensive thing. It's not just one area. It's an overall leadership, understanding technology, mentoring people. It's an overall thing. And I think, you know, Alan was kind of hitting the strides in all of these things. So now it's going to be a challenge for us, I guess, to pick up the pieces and kind of like start stepping in that direction. So I'll turn it over to Alan and say something there.
All right. First of all, thank you everyone for coming. Right. So I've been with Edison for, like what Joe and Greg has said, I've been here for 9 years. 3 years in IT, 6 years in MSO, and the 6 years in MSO really was where I really developed. That was really where, you know, I really grew as a person, because the 3 years in Edison was just the 3 years in IT was just a taste of Edison. The 6 years in MSO was really where was the journey in my development. And boy, I learned a lot in MSO. I learned a tremendous amount of stuff in MSO because one, you know, not just from the technical perspective of things, but from the leadership, you know, from MSO management, which, you know, Greg, Dave, Basil, you know, Joe, Jerry, all the managers, you know, learn from them. The business side, leadership, strategy, learned how to work with people. Man, that was tough. That was the hardest thing. Like, you know, to be honest with you, the technical stuff, you know, Greg said, coming into MSO, I didn't know the metering stuff, but that was okay. Like, I wasn't really afraid of that stuff, like the technical, because I figured, you know, I'll learn that stuff. But boy, man, leading people, that's a hard thing to do, and managing people is a hard thing to do, and that's something where, you know, I got a taste of it towards the last few years in my, actually a year and a half now, as a manager, and I learned more stuff, you know, in that leadership role. But at the end of the day, you know, I realized that the 6 years here in MSO really helped me learn and grow as a person. Shoot, I even learned how the ethics department works. And boy, you know, you go through these struggles and challenges, and really, it's one of the things, you know, I was telling a lot of the guys and you know, girls that I spoke to as I was leaving this last 2 years is you know, you gotta learn from your mistakes, you gotta learn from your successes. You know, you cannot how do you say it? You cannot succeed without failure, right? So one of the things that I take out from this whole experience and this journey in MSO was really the experience and learning from everyone here. I could probably say everyone here, I've learned a thing or two. Believe it or not, you know, I've learned, you know, how to, you know, all the technical stuff from Greg, from all of you guys, you know, learning, you know, everyone's got a different way of, you know, different style, right? And that's something that you cannot learn that from school. You gotta learn that from experience. And I truly enjoyed, MSO leadership, and they gave me the opportunity to make those mistakes and put me in a position in hoping that I'll be successful, but they also allowed me to make mistakes. And I'm truly thankful for that. Dave and Basil are not here today. I think they're on vacation. But those two, truly instrumental in my development, right? I can personally say, this whole process of me leaving Edison, they've been, they've provided a lot of guidance and support, not from a professional perspective, but really from a personal perspective. Basil said, I called him, it was like 11 o'clock, no, it was like 8 o'clock at night. I called him at home, and he was like saying, look, professionally, I don't want you to go, but he goes, personally, I think you should go. So, I took that, and, I was like, took that in, like what Greg was saying. That was part of my evaluation, And then I talked to Dave. I called Dave on a Saturday afternoon. He was with his family, and he basically said, "Hey, let me call you back. I'm with my family." So he called me back, and then he said, "Look, you gotta look at this from an overall career perspective. Don't just look at it from, the dollars. Is it gonna be, is it achieving your current goal now? Is it gonna achieve your future goal far and beyond, right?" And so he pretty much gave me that perspective of things, and that really helped in my decision. And Greg, I can't say enough about Greg. He's the guidance, the support, everything. He always had my back. No matter what. I've done some stupid stuff in episode, and yelled at people. Yelled at managers, yelled at directors. I made some mistakes. And every time it's like, Greg, dude, I think I'm going to get in trouble this time. Don't worry about it, Alan. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. So he always had my back. And to be honest with you, having that support and not being, not being afraid of making that mistake really helped me, like spread my wings kind of. Because I can make mistakes without feeling like, shit, man, I can't make a mistake. So he let me do that, and not to mention all the technical guidance. Even through this whole process of my employment with the new company. Dude, Greg, any help? He's constantly just asking him for help, and his willingness to really support me and guide me through, the understanding of things, and was really influential. That's why I tell some of the folks here that I spoke to in the last week or two is, you guys got to hang out with him, because really you're gonna learn from him. He's got a wealth of information that he's willing to give for free, and you're already at work anyway. It's not like you guys are busy all the time. So, come on, you guys don't have the fun. But to be honest with you, my experience here in MSO has been truly, it's been a journey, and I have to say, I'm truly grateful for everything. The ups, the downs, the success, all the failures. It's all been a good journey, and I can't thank you guys enough. Everything is just appreciative for everything you guys have, and your patience too, by the way, because I know I could be a pin, but so thank you for coming. And I'm not gonna be far. I live in Irvine, so I'll be working from Irvine, and so I'll be visiting. Lunches. So thank you again.